Last night, I had a long discussion with my friend, Michael Bublé, who told me, said, Shannon, don't ever name drop. And I said, Michael Bublé. It's my friend, Michael Bublé. I said, you're right. I won't name drop. That would be a bad thing to do, to name drop in such a manner. So I said to him, so, my friend Michael Bublé, what should I do about the great truths that I know? And he said to me, Shannon, of all of the great truths that you have, you must share them with the people. The people need to know the great truths, the dark secrets that are held by the NHL. And I said, but, my friend Michael Bublé, if I share this information, don't you remember the Gary Bettman video that brought us together? How that turned out? When Gary Bettman himself showed up at my door and told me to knock it off? And my friend, Michael Bublé, who will remain nameless, said, Shannon, you've got to do what you've got to do. You can't be afraid of Gary Bettman. And I said, but Michael Bublé, because it's my friend Michael Bublé, who shall remain nameless. How do I process all of this? How do I process these great truths that have been revealed to me? He said, you have to let the people know. The people need to know the truth. I shall share some of these great truths with you people. And I don't know what's going to happen after I've shared them, because the man could come and get me. Sedins. There are no Sedins. They're one person. It's been supposed by John Oliver for a long time that the Olsen twins are one person. This is a folly. There are two Olsen twins. Come on, be realistic. But Sedins? No. We always heard about how, Henrik and Daniel, they seem to share a brain. This Henrik and Daniel, they always seem to know where the other one's going to be. Yeah, it's one guy. Haniel Sedin is very fast. So it looks like two guys. That's why it's a 22 and a 33, because when they're fast, you can't tell the difference. I'm on to them. So in reality, Haniel Sedin scored over 2,000 points in his career. When he's in the Hall of Fame, you'll know why. But they'll do some kind of a camera trick to make it look like there's two people. Wake up. I'm sorry, Michael Bublé. That was the one truth you told me not to tell the people. On top of not name dropping, which is important. My friend Michael Bublé. Now the Nordiques. This is a great truth that people don't know about, and people need to know. This is a time of trial, and we need to know. The Nordiques never left Quebec. They've never been in Denver. It's never happened. They never left Quebec. Kind of a fool would move a team out of Canada. Which reminds me of the Jets here, and the Jets never moved to Arizona, and there was never a Thrashers. It's all the same team. Oh, the great truths that have been revealed to me over the years. And you guys don't think I have. I have sources. When Bettman came to my door and he said, don't you dare, through your friend Michael Bublé, reveal any of these great truths. And I said, Gary Bettman, how are you in the air like that? He was levitating. And he said, you know how I levitate. But you know what? Levitating Gary Bettman, I'm not scared of you anymore. I have to tell the truth. Sidney Crosby, he's in some kind of an anti-aging trial. See, we talk about Crosby and Ovechkin and how well they're aging. But they're not aging, are they? Look at Crosby's rookie card, put it up next to any card of his from the last 2 years. It's the same guy. Looks exactly the same. There's no difference. Oh, and Austin Matthews. Drafted first by the Maple Leafs. Born in Arizona. Austin Matthews, his real name's Austin Dubas. He's actually a little brother of Kyle Dubas. And Mitch Dubas, Mitch Marner, same guy. I don't understand why nobody's figuring these out, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to let you know the great truths of the National Hockey League. People ask about the War of 1812. I can't say anything more about the War of 1812. I've already said too much. The War of 1812 is where all of this starts. The War of 1812 being fought all the way until 1861. Oh, I know these things. 18, 12. Yeah, a war takes a year. No, it was more like 40. Oh, of the great truths. Claude Giroux. Bobby Clark knew exactly how to pronounce his name when he went up there. He knew exactly who Claude Giroux was. Everybody knew who Claude Giroux was. How did Bobby, when he got up to the microphone, suddenly forget who he was drafting? I don't buy it, Mr. Clark, if that's your real name. And Bobby Clark, older brother of Wendell Clark. Sorry, Leafs fans. Related. These things, they have to be revealed. Roman Josi. His name's not Roman. He was actually named Italy Josi, but he decided at a young age to change it to Roman. Rome, Italy. His name's Italy Josi. IJ, as he goes by in the Nashville locker room. But these are the truths they won't tell you. And on this channel, from me, you will get the many truths that the NHL will not tell you. Nathan MacKinnon, not real. Nathan MacKinnon, not a real person. It's all CGI. It's all CGI, people. We're watching all these simulations on NHL 20 as if, like, NHL 20 isn't the way they've been playing hockey games for years. We think we're going to watch hockey games? It's all a simulation. It's all made up. The Leafs can't win a Stanley Cup. It's all being made for dramatic building, right? So that Austin Dubas here leads them to a Stanley Cup and then reveals with tears in his eyes that he thanks his brother Kyle, and then we all find out the truth. Kyle, character in South Park. South Park loves Denver. Denver, not a real city. That's how they got the Nordiques, which they never got because the Nordiques are still in Quebec. And the Whalers never existed. I'm so glad I'm revealing these great truths. It just makes me feel so much better. Canuck fans, I've got bad news about Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes was actually drafted by the Detroit Red Wings, and we're going to find that out when he signs an extension with the Detroit Red Wings. That's just how that works. The draft that we see is not the draft that actually happens. And this is a great truth that's really, really important for people to understand, that when you watch the draft, you're not watching the draft. Draft's watching you. Yeah. Leon Draisaitl. All year. And I apologize to Oilers fans everywhere. Leon Draisaitl in these simulated CGI games, he's pretty good. And I was instructed by the National Hockey League not to talk about Leon Draisaitl. To talk about him as little as possible. To build up Connor McDavid, who is a robot. We all know that he's a robot, right? I mean, I'm not telling secrets, am I? Or am I? Am I? Oh, I tell you. Oh, this one. Thomas Chabot. Or should I say Erik Karlsson. Thomas Chabot just comes into the league and suddenly he can play 27 minutes a night. He's Erik Karlsson without the mustache. Put a pirate mustache on Thomas Chabot. You got Erik Karlsson. It's the same. This way he collects 2 paychecks and nobody ever notices because like, well, it's Ottawa and San Jose. Why would they be the same player? Would San Jose be that stupid to give up that many assets for one player? No. So no. Erik Karlsson was never traded. Those assets didn't happen. And Thomas Chabot is Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson just moonlights wearing his pirate mustache for San Jose. Because he thinks the jersey makes him look cool. He thinks it makes his mustache look cool. And you know what? It really kind of sort of does. Looks like a pirate anyways. Now, for fans in Vegas, I've got some news regarding Marc-Andre Fleury, and this is upsetting. So we went to Vegas, and this feels so good to get all this off my chest finally. We went to Vegas a couple years ago, and we missed out on the Marc-Andre Fleury chocolate mousse version by a day. Now the reality is, they actually encased Marc-Andre Fleury in chocolate mousse. And when I went there, when I went to the Bellagio, they had to get him out of there. So it was gone the day before because they knew I would see through it, that I would see the truth. The NHL and people around the league understand my ability to see the truth. There's Sidney Crosby, number 87. He looks exactly the same as he did when he was a rookie. He's not aging. He's not. That's why he's on the board twice, because it's that important. It's that important for people to understand that Sidney Crosby isn't aging. It feels so much better. You know, my friend Michael Bublé, whose name will remain unsaid by me, I'm not going to do that. he told me I'd feel better, and I had no idea how right he was. I had no idea. But my friend, Jack Eichel... See, I've been tough on Buffalo because Jack and we hang out all the time. Jack, he's a funny guy. The thing with Jack, the reason he doesn't get to go to the playoffs is because he knows all the same truths I do. And they're worried. They're terrified that if Buffalo wins the Stanley Cup, he'll stand there with the Stanley Cup, he'll throw it down on the ice, and he'll say this is all a fraud and it's all a fake. And then it all falls apart. The NHL's built on some lies. It is. And all of my jerseys were provided to me free by the NHL for not telling any of these truths. So in telling these truths, I will never be allowed to have a hockey jersey again. But for all of you out there seeking the truth, it's totally worth it. Now all I can ask of you is a thumbs up to the video, your eyes to be open, and keep your eyes right here on this channel for more truths. Because it's important in this time, in this trying time, that we all understand the truth. We all see the truth. And while everybody's all stressed out, the truth is really, really important. I'm just trying to decide if these last two, if I want to tell the truth about Matthew Barzal, that he didn't actually win the Calder Trophy, that it was Brock Besser. I don't know if I want to tell that Jacob Slavin already won the Norris Trophy. They did the voting a couple of months ago in a bar somewhere in Tijuana. I don't know if I want to tell that. That Jacob doesn't have 2 C's in his name. He just thinks it makes him trendy. Oh, that feels so much better. Now, without saying names, I'll let my friend Michael Bublé know that this does feel better. It's nice to have that weight off my mind. So, in the name of great truth, it's important in these times that I be honest. So, when a floating Gary Bettman shows up later, I have to assume after sundown. I know Gary. We all know. You need to... I mean, if you talk about people not aging, look at Bettman 20 years ago and look at him now. I mean, I'm not going to say Nosferatu, but... Right? It is a time of great truth. And it is time for these truths to come to the light. Quebec, stop lying. The Nordiques never left. Winnipeg, neither did the Jets. And a team in Carolina... Really? A team in Carolina? They're in Hartford. But when a team's in a mall, it's real easy to hide them. And that's where they got the idea for the movie Dawn of the Dead. George A. Romero, may he rest his soul. He stole the idea from the Hartford Whalers. But that was the zombie apocalypse of the 70s. So that was the first one. All right. Thank you for hearing my truth. And subscribe if you want to hear more of the great truths. And provided that the NHL doesn't shut everything down because of all the great truths I've told you, and they very well could, I will talk to you again soon. I'm Michael Bublé. I did a really good job of not mentioning your name once in this video. You're welcome.